In fact, if we go back to the evolution of circulatory systems, they think that this is why they evolved. It's kind of cool. All right. Don't get in that talk too much in this class, but I think it's fabulous. Okay, so one of the parts of your body that releases perhaps the most different hormones is actually your pituitary. And your pituitary has this really crazy list of hormones that it's releasing. Look at all those, right? Some of them are released only by what we call the anterior pituitary. Some of them are only released by the posterior pituitary. Okay, so what happens is a signal from the hypothalamus is going to signal to the pituitary to release a hormone. And these hormones really vary pretty wildly in function. It can be antidiuretic hormone keeps you from losing too much water in your urine. It can be thyroid stimulating hormone that stimulates the thyroid to make thyroid, which is metabolic. It can be adrenaline. It can work on your nether regions, creating gonads. Wide range of functions. Okay. So as you look at these hormones, one thing I want you to see is what is in a hormone name. You can have this word stimulating. What do you think that means? What does it mean when something stimulates something else? Yeah, it's sending a message, right? In the case of melanocyte stimulating hormone, this is a hormone that stimulates your melanocytes. These are the cells in your skin that make your pigment. Okay. They're being stimulated to produce melanin. In the case of thyroid stimulating hormone, your thyroid is being stimulated to create thyroid. All right, so it's basically telling it like, hey, you need to do this. Follicle stimulating hormone is involved in the reproductive system, and it basically stimulates the formation of follicles, which eventually are what become eggs from the ovaries. Okay, so one of these words, we've got stimulating. Now there's also this one, this tropic. And we only have one of those in here. But what these tropic, or sometimes they're called tropin, anytime you see that, what that means is that this hormone is stimulating another gland to like make something. Okay? So it's kind of in the same vein as stimulating. Sometimes you'll also see RH, which is releasing hormone. This means that your gland has a lot of a hormone, or you've got a gland that has hormone in it. It just needs to know to release that hormone that it has already made. And you can have IH, which is inhibitory. Or inhibiting, which means it stops that hormone from working. All right. Now, why am I giving you these? Because, I mean, the exact name of the hormones, we're going to go through some. But what I want you to be able to do is I want you to be able to look at the name of a hormone and be like, oh, this is inhibitory, or this stimulates another organ to do something, or this, because it tells you something about the hormone. And I think in A&P in particular, we tend to kind of get into this scenario where we look at the names and we focus so hard on the names that we don't actually like think about what the name means. I don't want you to memorize words. I want you to have pieces of words that can get pieced together in different ways, because then they're tools. Okay. So part of my point to this slide, in addition to what's in the name, is actually also that you have basically one endocrine gland here that can release a whole bunch of different hormones. So they're not necessarily like hormonally monogamous. It's not like your pancreas only releases one hormone. All right, it's not like your pituitary only releases one. Right? They can release many. It just depends on the cells that are stimulated. If the cells that are stimulated make a particular hormone, they're going to release that hormone.